guys, and welcome back to my channel. I had my absolute dream bachelorette about a month ago. Everything was just, it was so good that I wanted to make this video on how to throw a camp themed bachelorette, as well as like my top tips for any bachelorette. Welcome to Camp Kai. It's time for some camper activities. The entire budget part is going to be coming at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. I live in downtown Chicago. My best friends in the whole entire world live literally everywhere. I have people on the East Coast, the West Coast, the Southwest. My mom lives in Mexico. Everybody was all over the place, and it made it really challenging trying to figure out a location that was going to be convenient for everybody, especially because I'm having a destination wedding. We stayed in a cabin in Ada, Michigan, which is about 20 minutes outside of Grand Rapids, and it's about 2 hours and 45 minutes outside of Chicago. This was perfect and incredible. Literally, the cabin could have been absolutely anywhere. We did not end up leaving the cabin like much at all, but we stayed at the Love Inn, which is run by Bangtel, and it was truly like an absolute dream come true of a location. It can sleep 19, but with 11 of us, it was perfect because every single person was able to get their own bed. There was like plenty of space for everybody to sit. There was a big dining table on the patio that we could have dinners at all together. There was a giant dining table inside that was great for us to be able to like line up food or activities or things. There was a fire pit with enough seating for all of us. They had a pool. The patio also was really great because they had yoga mats, and my mom is a yoga instructor, so we did like martini yoga on the patio and stuff, and it was just like there was plenty of space for us to be able to do all of the activities and everything we wanted. Not to mention, the Love Inn is decorated so freaking cute. I have this video walkthrough. I'm obsessed with it. They did such a good job with it, and because everything was like black and white themed, it made it really easy for us to add in our decorations and kind of like make it our own. It's also like surrounded by so much nature. We really felt like we were like in this secluded little area that was all our own, and it was just beautiful and wonderful and so much fun to me. I do have a discount code for Bangtel if you're interested. I'll put that down in the description box below. I could not recommend the Love Inn more. If you're in the Midwest and you are looking for a girls trip or some sort of getaway like that, you should go stay there because it was incredible. Jumping into just my top things of what helped make my Camp Kai bachelorette be an absolute dream come true. Number one, we had 11 people, including myself and including both my mom and my mother-in-law. That to me felt like a really good amount of people. It was something that was manageable, but still like plenty of people to be able to like rally around everything. Something else we did to kind of rally around the camp theme that I thought was really fun was we rented a 15-person transit van instead of renting multiple cars for us to get out there. Since there was 11 of us, I thought like, let's all load into a van, we'll head out to Camp Kai, and that was super fun. There wasn't an aux cord or stupid van, so that was a little bit of an oversight, but it did also help bring our transportation costs down because we were all sharing just the one van and sharing all of the gas. All right, number three, I was really happy with our goodie bag slash bachelorette swag. We did these shirts, and it just has a little martini glass on the front. On the back, it has this logo we made with the Camp Kai logo. I didn't want it to say bachelorette on it anywhere, so it just says Camp Kai, Grand Rapids, Michigan, because that was the closest big city. The martini glasses, and then the year. Martini glasses was definitely a theme that we carried through the whole weekend. I gave all of my girls each a martini glass and put like little charms on them so we could see whose glass was each, which honestly was just a really smart thing to do. But we drank more martinis than we ever should have drank in the weekend. I wanted these shirts to be just something that was really big and comfy and oversized. So this is like a double XL or something, and I just wanted to be like very cozy, fun, chill vibes. Like this was our chill shirt. This was our we're hanging out shirt, and everybody wore them all weekend, and I really liked that it didn't say bachelorette on it anywhere. I tried to keep it really just like neutral and fun and comfy. I do have a video of me packing the swag bags, so I recommend going and checking those out. Also with those, I had bought knockoff of the Kinkin little mini backpacks when I was in Thailand, and so I'd had those in my closet for months waiting for my bachelorette, but I really liked that I did those because everyone uses them. I got them for 10 bucks each, and they were just a really cute thing to house all the stuff in. The other thing I put in there was I did get everybody a camp shirt. It was our shirts that we did our camp games in, and they were just black and white ringer tees. I got them from Michael's. They were $6 a piece, so that was really reasonably priced in my opinion. And then I also got black and white bandanas so that way we could tell who was on each team when we did the camp games. One of my absolute favorite things that I did with the gift bags, I had done tons of like printables all weekend. Before we even left, I had put together like a full like itinerary welcome packet that had bios and photos, embarrassing photos, of all of my friends, as well as like mood boards for the different themes, the schedule, a packing list, all sorts of stuff like that. So they kind of knew what they were getting into. I also printed out individual notes to each person. I wrote up like a little note just about like my friendship and what each one of them mean to me individually, and had those printed, and it made every single person cry. I just really loved that. Like I felt like it was a very like sweet little sentimental touch into this goodie bag that could have just been like gifts. Like I wanted it to have something a little bit more sentimental in there too. So I loved that so much. The printables were great just all weekend long. We also did camp capers, which kind of brings me into my next thing of my like top recommendations for it. We had camp jobs, camp capers for every single person. So some people were trash duty, some people were kitchen duty, some people were on cooking duty, outside cleanup. My friend Kathy was bartender, and that was a mistake because my hangovers were so bad. My mom was in charge of making sure there was snacks out. My mother-in-law was in charge of making sure that I drank enough water, which there was not enough water on this planet to stop those hangovers. Somebody was DJ, somebody was van driver. We pre-planned these different jobs so that way when it came time to, everyone kind of knew what they had to step up and help with. It didn't feel like anyone was doing everything. The responsibilities were dispersed throughout. So I did really, really like that we did that. And we just printed off the camp capers and had it posted to the fridge so that way people could reference it at any time if they had questions. Next thing I absolutely loved that we did was a themed night. So one of the nights we just stayed in and had dinner and everything. We had plenty of martinis, but we did grandparents night in. And so me and all my friends dressed up as old people, and I'm talking like wigs, gray hair, hairspray, canes, glasses, blue eyeshadow, fake boobs, fake butts, Rolos, stuffed down bras. It was just the most absurd thing you've ever seen. And the fact that we all went like so hard in the paint on this theme just to hang out at the house ourselves was so freaking funny to me. Like it was the best. You cannot do anything but absurdly laugh at your friends when you are all dressed as elderly people. We did a cartwheel competition as old people. I will never forget that. Like it was just way too good. Next, another thing I absolutely loved that we did was tons of games. I am very competitive and I love games. I just think you have to do them. I think it was so much fun. Our first night of the Bachelorette, when we got to the cabin, so many of my friends didn't know each other because they're all from different circles, and so I wanted them to all get to know each other really well. So I hosted a Jeopardy game all about all of them, and I just roasted the shit out of them the entire way through. And so it was really funny because there would be questions about like embarrassing sex stories or things someone has done to get revenge on an ex or fake boobs. I essentially trauma bonded them together, and it just kicked the weekend off with such a fun, silly, stupid way to get everyone to be good friends. For our camp games, we all put on our ringer tees, we all wore our bandanas. We did crafts where we made our own visors and sunglasses too. And so we were very like camp themed looking for this, which was super fun. But we did a wheelbarrow race, a three-legged race. We did this relay race, which included a slip and slide. All of them were drinking games. There were so many drinking games, but every single one of my friends was so like all in on everything. Oh, we played sardines out in the woods. My mom zipped herself into a duffel bag under a bed for one of the rounds of sardines. Like it was so stupid. It was so good. All of my friends were so gung-ho. Everything just kept getting elevated and it was just so good. It was so much fun, and I'm so thankful that my friends were so enthusiastic because it just made the whole entire trip. But those camp games were the best. Our last full day, we did just like regular drinking games like flip cup and beer pong. We also did that game where you toss a hot dog and try and catch it in your mouth and then film it in like slow-mo. So freaking funny. My friend who's a vegetarian did a cheese stick, but like still 10 out of 10. Another thing I highly recommend, give yourself time to stay in. Like I see all these bachelorettes where you're like out in Miami and it's like club, club, club. It's like that TikTok where it's like, wake up, club, bus, another club, another club.
No sleep, bus, club, another club.
No, your girl is sleepy. I cannot. And like the logistics of that, I didn't want to spend my weekend in clubs with my friends. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I just don't see my friends enough because we all live all over. So I really wanted to just have that like casual quality time spent. Once we got to the cabin, we left once for brunch and we left once for a pole dancing class, which was like fine, but honestly we didn't need to do either of those things. And being able to just stay in and spend that time together was the best in my opinion. So I do highly recommend like schedule time to stay in and just hang out with each other, because that was like where all of our memories are made. It wouldn't have felt that way if we spent a ton of time out and about. And that brings me into just like overall, my last tip is really lean into that sentimental time spent together, because you're not gonna ever get that again. You're never going to have a time with like 10 of your best, closest girlfriends. That was something that I didn't want to overlook. Like I felt so lucky that these people were coming out and wanting to spend time and like celebrate me. They are the people that mean the entire world to me. And so everything we did was about spending time together and making those memories. It just was my dream come true for a bachelorette. Okay, coming into the budget, keep in mind we actually ended up coming in quite a bit under this, but here's everything I budgeted and what I thought it was all gonna be, and then I'll tell you at the end what it all actually ended up costing. Also, I tried to overestimate everything because I'd rather our budget come in under than it be over and be uncomfortable for somebody and them not feel like they could afford it. So I had budgeted in $20 for lunch on the way to the cabin. Groceries, I knew we were having the vast majority of our meals in. I budgeted roughly $100 per person for that one. That one we definitely came in under. I think it ended up being about $65 per person, and we ended up having all of our meals at the house with the exception of one brunch. And then I budgeted roughly $50 per person for alcohol. We definitely did not spend that much either. I think that turned out to be closer to like $25 per person, and we drank way more than we should have. So that worked out fine too. Saturday, we did do a pole dancing class. That was $30 per person. We'd budgeted in to go out for lunch after that, and we didn't. We just had plenty of food at the house, so we just went back. And then we also budgeted in dinner and drinks for that night, and that was the night that I canceled. We did not end up going out into Grand Rapids because I was way too hungover and too tired, and I did not want to do it. So that was another $75 that I budgeted for, that we just used the groceries that we had at the house. We didn't have to buy anything extra. For our cabin, it was $217 per person for all 3 nights. The van was $72 per person. Gas, I put in 25-ish dollars a person for gas and tolls. I think that did end up coming to be like about that much. The shirts, our custom shirts, were $20 per person, including the printing and the shirt itself. So I was super happy with that. And then we did spend a decent amount as far as like decor and games, like the slip and slide and beer pong balls and crafts and just all of that sort of stuff. That we budgeted in as like $100 per person. I don't think it ended up being that much. Again, wanted to just like overestimate everything. All of that in total was $760 per person. What it ended up being at the end was closer to $560 per person for the whole weekend. So that doesn't include flights, but that does include literally everything else. Decor, food, drinks, stay, transportation. It's funny because we did a lot. Our weekend was really jam-packed. We had so many activities. Like there was no point that anybody felt bored all weekend, but because we weren't going out to places a lot, we were able to keep that price point down. I literally don't know how much a bachelorette would cost if you were like in a big city doing like the whole shebang, because that shit can get pricey real quick. All right, guys, I hope that this gave you a good insight. Camp Kai was the best thing that ever happened to me. If you're somebody who wants to have a camp themed bachelorette, like I feel like we should probably be best friends because it was literally my dream come true. If you have any questions about anything at all, feel free to comment down below. I will answer anything. And the Love Inn, the cabin that was hosted by Bangtel, I will put the link for that as well as my discount code in the description box too. I could not recommend them more. Their customer service was incredible, but also just like the place was so cool, so much fun. It was the perfect setting for a camp themed bachelorette. Like I loved it so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
If we could run it, if we could run it back.